64ª reunión anual de la Asamblea de Gobernadores del Banco Interamericano de Desarrollo y la 38ª reunión anual de la Asamblea de Gobernadores de la Corporación Interamericana de Inversiones. Tiene la palabra el señor Ilan Goldfein, presidente del Banco Interamericano de Desarrollo y presidente del directorio ejecutivo.
And chairman of the board of executive directors of the Inter-American Investment Corporation has the floor to present his conclusions on the achievements of these annual meetings. Thank you. Chair, Minister Hochi.
An historic day, historic annual meetings. We did it. For the first time in IDB's history, governors approved 3 transformational changes that will reshape the entire IDB group and potentially the region. The hat-tricks or the home run with full base, 3 goals in 1 annual meetings. 10 governors, delegations, thank the staff and directors that worked so hard to get here. Thank you very much. This was a remarkable annual meetings for several reasons. Let me start with the partnership, with the MOUs, with the letter of intents. We had the power of convening here more than 2,500 people and 57 countries, organizations together in person here. We signed loans, agreements, letters of intent with several of you, Barbados, Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, Slovenia, Sweden, Switzerland, Japan, Trinidad and Tobago. We signed an MOU with CAF to do everything from launching the Pan American Highway to reducing gender inequality, to investing in digitalization, to improve fiscal management, to be resilient, to develop the green hydrogen industry. This level of mutual commitment reflects the special partnership between the IDB and the countries, between the IDB and the private sector, between the IDB group with all of them, and has our role being a bridge between the region and the rest of the world. We had key events. Let me tell you about them. We started one of the first events with the civil society. That was the first time after a decade that the civil society were invited. And different from the history, they were part of the agenda. They defined the event. Throughout the new institutional strategy, we are seeking this new framework with the civil society to increase their involvement and making them a key development partner. We also had the Board of Governors event at Women's Day. That was a nice celebration, but it was also a moment to have an important declaration pledging to foster more equality and more diverse representation at the Board of Executive Directors. This is an important step forward and has our full support. We also took advantage, and as part of our efforts to foster gender equality and diversity in the region, we announced the appointment of Diana Rodriguez Franco as a special advisor on gender on diversity. Following a competitive selection process, she will report directly to me, and she will coordinate and foster synergy across the IDB group and with external partners to foster gender and diversity issues to achieve greater impact. We had, I will say, fantastic regional events, like the Amazon Forever program, that I think showing in practice how a regional platform could work with collaboration between country members, donors, other multilaterals, other institutions, and the people in the region to make concrete improvements, impact. We had the One Caribbean signed here, an important, and I must say overdue program for all of us to start to work together in implementable programs and projects. We also had the Business Forum where we advanced the Bid for the Americas program, also initiative of this year, to attract companies and investors to Latin America. And we focused on our knowledge part. We had 8 seminars addressing key challenges and opportunities in Latin America, reflecting the richness of the expertise and knowledge of our teams to bring this here, what they usually do every day. Education, energy, food security, inequality, citizen security, financial innovation. We talk about institutional strategy. We explained IDB Invest, IDB Lab, the Business Forum, the Women's Day. All of those were seminars that we had this week. But let me talk about the core reason we are here. The 3 transformational changes. Number 1, the institutional strategy. This new institutional strategy will increase the impact and scale of our work that will focus on poverty and inequality, boosting economic growth, and addressing climate change. The new strategy enables us to transform the institution for greater impact and scale. We will do that by being strategically selective. So we can increase the impact and scale of things like, just give you one example, the education program that aims to reduce poverty and inequality by helping 3.5 million students learn better at 12,000 schools in 16 countries with the World Bank. Broadly speaking, the institutional strategy will help us increase impact and scale on different things. For example, scale without meaningful impact, I have said, is not productive. And impact without scale will lead to insufficient results for today's challenge. So our only viable option is to seek results, impact results on a large scale. Among other things, the institutional strategy elevates climate and nature, has a priority development objectives, and include a new emphasis on citizen security and on disaster risk management. The institutional strategy has many embedded reforms. Look at it, many. Not only the Washington Resolution reform, but more. The development effectiveness reform, it's there. It's to remind us that it's not the amount of dollars that we care, but the number of people we live out of poverty, the number of people that have water and sewage treatment, the number of citizens that get proper education and health, or the CO2 emissions we can reduce, or the decline in deforestation. The development effectiveness require us to pay attention to the whole cycle of the project, not just the approval, not just get approval and go to the next one. We must improve processes, checks and balances, change in the programming, in the country's strategies, and we must strategically select projects with greater impact and give staff the right incentives to promote those projects with greater impact. But essentially, at the end of the day, what we need to do is promote a culture of change, a culture of impact. Another example is the instrument reform. We need to refine the instruments we have. And we started with talking more about the PBL reform to improve the quality and the impact of those policy reforms. A good policy project can provide more economic, social, and environmental stability, can improve a country's institution, can reduce crime, can foster productivity and growth, and importantly, enable more investment in the country and mobilize much-needed resources to improve social, climate, and growth indicators. Or the knowledge reform. We are proposing greater and more efficient investment in knowledge, including through technical assistance to support countries, capacitation too. We need to catalog what we do well, what we don't do well, the successes and the failures, to have the evidence-based data so that we can give the best advice to countries. We need to be the knowledge bank of the region. And we have others. We have the fragility reform. The institutional strategy talks about regional integration. We launched 4 flagship regional integration this year and last year. Amazon Forever, One Caribbean, América en el Centro, and Rotas de Integração. We know we need to go further. The new institutional strategy is being complemented by the impact framework that has quantitative targets to measure the progress and reflect the group's increased ambition so that you can also look and evaluate the involvement. Our teams, Alexandre, others, did a wonderful job. With the help, and that's the reason I'm not citing names, basically the whole bank was involved in the document you saw, in the effort you saw. And the board of directors that were with us every other step of the institutional strategy. The second transformational change, is the new vision, business model, and 3.5 billion capital increase for IDB Invest that will double in size in a few years. IDB Invest new business model will increase the volume of investment so that the project through an originate-to-share model that will substitute the buy and hold. It will have more power to provide more equity, more domestic currency loans. It will give the group much greater investment power to mobilize the much-needed investments to our development goal and help countries to be part of the solution to global challenges. We need more resources in the global challenges. We will only do it with the private sector. This capitalization and this new model is the most direct way to mobilize resources to those global challenges and give the region the opportunity to be part of this solution. IDB Lab, our third transformational change, has a new vision. It's our own innovation laboratory. Very unique. We have its replenishment and a new sustainable models with up to 400 million in additional resources. It will let us triple the resources it mobilizes per dollar deployed and scale up a larger share of its projects from 30 to 40% of each project. The new vision for the IDB Lab means we'll have more resources to help entrepreneurs and startups address key challenges. It means more innovations, more productivity, more growth, more jobs, and inflection point. Together, the new institutional strategy, IDB Invest capitalization and new vision, IDB Labs new model with replenishment will allow the IDB group to increase lending, increase the scale. We made a calculation, we say we can get up to 112 billion in 10 years. We also committed during the COP28 that we will double the climate financing from 50 billion to 150 billion in 10 years. That we were one of the first MDBs to reach that goal that was asked MDBs. We are calling the sum of all of this changing Changes Impact Plus, IDB Impact Plus. It means we'll achieve much more impact plus much more change, much more scale. Impact Plus. What are the next steps? With the 3 transformational changes now approved, we will immediately begin the detailed design and implementation of all these reforms. The new institutional strategy will guide us through 2030, coinciding with the UN's SDGs timelines. So, as you can see, we have all just participated in a truly historic annual meetings. Meetings that will be remembered for positioning our group for greater impact and scale. Meetings that will change the IDB group, that will mark an inflection of the IDB group. Importantly, meetings that also aim to promote an inflection point in the region, helping Latin America and the Caribbean seize the opportunity to grow and develop on the heels of being part of the solution of global challenges. Make no little plans, say the famous Chicago architect Daniel Burnham, who inspired the city to build one of the world's most ambitious and enduring skylines. He said, "Little plans have no magic." So he said, aim high and make big plans. That's what we did for these annual meetings. We aimed high. We made big plans. We fought big. Today, those plans become a reality. So when you're thinking big, think big. Think IDB. Think IDB Impact Plus.
Our planet is at a crossroads, and so is our region. Latin America and the Caribbean faces a triple challenge: rising social demands, scarce fiscal resources, and low growth. Climate change makes the triple challenge even harder. But today, our region also has a great opportunity to find solutions and help solve challenges that affect the whole world. So, this is an inflection point for Latin America and the Caribbean. And it's an inflection point for us at the IDB Group. For the first time in IDB's history, we're implementing 3 transformative changes to help the region seize this opportunity. A new institutional strategy to boost the impact and scale of our work. A bold new business model and increased firepower for IDB Invest, our private sector arm. And a new funding model and vision for IDB Lab, our innovation hub. These changes will help Latin America and the Caribbean tackle its triple challenge, while making us a stronger bridge between the region and the rest of the world as we take on global challenges together. The IDB Group is becoming not just a bigger institution, but a better one, allowing us to improve lives at a greater scale with greater impact. Welcome to a new chapter in our history, for us and for the region we serve. Welcome to IDB Impact Plus.
So let me close just thanking again. We need to be grateful for everybody that led us here. This is the first step of a long journey, but we need to think about the moments. And I would like to thank first our host from the Dominican Republic, Minister Hochi, for everything you've done. Please. Send the thanks to President Abinader, please. I want to thank the governors for taking the time to look at our projects, to discipline us, to making us more ambitious. Thank you all for being here in nice Punta Cana. Thank you very much, governors. I would like also to thank the board of directors. They are with us every day, working, getting this done, going back and forth in the committees, reading the papers, coming back, correcting, going back to staff. Thank you very much, board of directors. We will need you a lot in the next few weeks, months, and years. Thank you. Finally, the staff. This has been a very, very busy year with a very intense president that keeps pushing, but who really does the work is the staff, management, senior management, the representatives, the division chiefs, everybody involved, CEOs, VPs, I hope I don't forget anybody. Basically, thank you all, because we are just starting the journey, but you have to realize that this was an important point to reach. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Ilan. The script in front of me says that it's my turn to offer some remarks. I do not want to bore you. I know you're all eager to move on and do other things. So I will simply go back to something I said in my initial speech. I said if we want to go fast, we go alone. If we want to go far, we need to go with others. What we have done during this annual meeting of the boards of governors of IDB and IDB Invest is only a sample, but a very clear sample that we stand together, and that what awaits us, given that we know we have a long journey ahead, is something we will tackle together in this marathon. Thank you very much. I give the floor to the governor for Chile. Thank you very much, Chair. I asked for the floor to say that now that we have finalized this successful annual meeting in Punta Cana, we're looking to the future at next year's annual meeting of the IDB and the IIC, which is going to take place in Chile. And this is after 24 years since the first time we hosted a Board of Governors in Santiago. We will be returning or going south to the southern part of this continent, and I think it will be an excellent opportunity so that we can, first of all, do what we need to do, given that this year we've taken very important decisions. Next year we will be reviewing what we do during the coming year, and also look at next steps to continue with the momentum provided to the bank by its president, President Goldfein. I also believe it will be an opportunity to strengthen Chile's ties with the countries of the region, with other bank member countries, and with the bank as the leading financing institution for Latin America and the Caribbean. We were a founding member of the institution and have always been very proud to be a part of it. And in addition, I think it will be a very good chance for us to see many of the things we've been discussing on the ground, where things happen, where we produce, present, and resolve social issues, for example. Our countries in Latin America are quite diverse, and being mindful of that, we thought that as we organize the core part of the annual meeting in Santiago, we would also add on activities in the city of Magallanes, Punta Arenas. These are the southernmost points of the Americas and the southernmost points in the world, I can say. So that is also going to make it possible for us as very distant territories that are nonetheless connected to the future through their potential for clean energy and green hydrogen. Like the president, we too have brought a video we'd like to share.
En Chile apostamos por el futuro, con esfuerzo y convicción. Perseveramos en ser confiables y mirar el futuro con firmeza, perspectiva y creatividad. Creemos que podemos mostrar al mundo no solo nuestras ventajas y fortalezas, sino también nuestros valores, aquello en lo que creemos. Chile construye su desarrollo en torno a 3 grandes ejes, que recogen nuestra historia, nuestro modo de ser país y lo que estamos construyendo hacia el futuro. El primer eje es el de la sustentabilidad, que atraviesa todas nuestras actividades, desde las productivas hasta las culturales, desde inversiones con mirada sostenible, políticas de conservación y protección de recursos naturales, ofertas turísticas, hasta el rol de las personas y las comunidades en el desarrollo. Somos un país a la vanguardia de la economía sostenible y la innovación energética. El primer país de América en emitir bonos verdes. Somos un país que apuesta por la transición energética con las industrias del hidrógeno verde y del litio. Nuestro segundo eje es el de la democracia, que habla de nuestra estabilidad institucional y la fortaleza de nuestras normas, que es la base de un escenario claro y confiable para las distintas actividades de nuestros ciudadanos, nuestros socios y de quienes nos visitan. Expresión de ello es la ubicación de la economía chilena en 2023 en el 7º lugar entre los 35 países de la OCDE por su estabilidad económica y manejo de la inflación. Somos un país que promueve una política comercial inclusiva en todo el mundo para reducir la desigualdad y aumentar la equidad de género. Somos un país que ha disminuido la tasa de la pobreza a mínimos históricos, avanzando con seguridad hacia la equidad social. El tercer eje, el de la diversidad, muestra el mundo al que pertenecemos como pueblo. Nuestra identidad. Somos hijos de un proceso de migraciones históricas y de mestizaje que identifican y moldean con estilos y acentos tan diversos como nuestra geografía y nuestra oferta al mundo. Somos un país que cree, que crea, que crece, y podemos decir que tenemos una economía fuerte, dinámica y resiliente, que avanza con confianza hacia la recuperación económica. Para ello, la integración regional y el trabajo coordinado con organismos multilaterales es clave. En este camino, el Banco Interamericano de Desarrollo y el BID Invest han sido socios leales de Chile y de la región, que nos han ayudado a identificar y enfrentar los desafíos de hoy y del mañana. Por ello, la Asamblea de Gobernadores es y seguirá siendo un espacio de colaboración vital para todos los países miembros. En nombre del Gobierno de Chile, invitamos afectuosamente a los gobernadores y a las gobernadoras del BID y del BID Invest a las reuniones anuales de las Asambleas de Gobernadores en Santiago y eventos temáticos en la ciudad de Punta Arenas. Los esperamos. Bienvenidos a Chile.
Thank you very much, Governor. As there are no items of business to discuss, we officially adjourn the meetings of the annual meetings of the Boards of Governors of the Inter-American Development Bank and the Inter-American Investment Corporation. Thank you for coming and enjoy.
Perfecto. Lo hiciste 100%. Home run.